and welcome to Mind Shifters. I'm your host, Mireille Wagner, and today on the show we have Karen Ellis. Karen Ellis is a functional medicine practitioner through the School of Applied Functional Medicine. She has her health coach training through Columbia University at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and she is a board certified, she's certified by the Board of American Association of Drugless Practitioners. She holds a BS in psychology and is also a classically trained raw and whole food chef. Karen promotes client-centered health strategies with a focus on cellular function. Welcome to the show, Karen. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Wonderful. I find that so cool that you talk about cellular function, because not many people talk about cellular function. Everyone's talking about their symptoms, right? I feel tired, I feel pain, and nobody's actually connecting that to cells, right?
No, I didn't.
Absolutely. So I'd love for you to take us through your story, because you told me a little bit about your story in the pre-call, and you didn't actually have a diagnosis. And most people are looking for that diagnosis and going from doctor to doctor just so that they can name it and somehow do something about it, right? So you didn't have that diagnosis. What was your story? How did it all begin? What were your symptoms?
So how everything started was about 20 years ago when I had taken a diet pill and had a stroke. Found out I had a congenital heart defect, which caused, it was a hole in my heart. So I had taken the diet pill, it kind of coagulated my blood and the clot went through the hole and I had a stroke, which led to open heart surgery. It was then that I realized I needed to really figure out food and diet and how to eat properly. Mm-hmm. So that journey brought me here, thank God. But it seemed that anything I would eat or any kind of medication I would take, I would have a reaction to. I would get hives from head to toe. I wouldn't feel well. I was always swelling up, and it seemed like I had an adverse reaction to everything. I had constant sinus infections. I was tired. I think the bloating and the swelling was the most prevalent and annoying to me. So I could not understand how I could be so healthy and not feel well and kept gaining weight, which I used to joke with my friends and say I'm the healthiest fat person I know, because it was so frustrating.
Well, tell me about that, because I think you were saying to me that, okay, let's go back. You took a diet pill because obviously you were gaining weight at the time. Had you,
no,
what kind of diet had you?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to feel good, and I was eating a lot. I felt I was hungry all the time. So I just wanted to kind of curb my appetite. Mm-hmm. I was never really that overweight, but I just, at 35, you're in good shape, naturally, nothing's wrong. And, thank God I did. It was a gift, actually, because it really opened my eyes to understanding like something was off in my body, but I didn't know what.
But you also said that you'd made a couple of nutritional changes that you realized were not exactly healthy for you. For most people, it sounds completely healthy. Raw food. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I went down the raw food avenue, and I loved it at first, but after 6 months, I was so depleted, I couldn't even function. I was absolutely exhausted. And I remember my breakthrough meal was sushi, and just having some real protein, mm-hmm. It catapulted me into a whole new stratosphere. I felt amazing. Yeah. So I knew raw food was not right for me.
How long had you been doing that for?
I had done it for 6 months. Wow. Really raw food. I was because I'm a chef, so I knew exactly how to prepare things. So I was really diligent, and I suffered greatly. I did not feel well. I didn't look well. It was not good for me. I'm a type O blood type.
Mm-hmm. So, I speak about that too. Actually, I'm type O too. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually for us, it's not good not to eat some animal protein.
I know, I realized that when I tried to go plant-based, strictly plant-based, and I was just hungry all the time. I thought, I can't do
Right.
this. I need some meat.
Hungry and depleted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's interesting that you said that too, because I was trying to make that association with my clients that the ABs seem to be, or the A's seem to be the ones that seem to be better on a vegan diet than
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Some people thrive. I just wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
I've really tried every modality to get myself in balance. And then I started this with this Shea company. And that's when it really hit home for me that I got headaches, I got hives. Again, I was swelling up, and I could not understand how all of these hundreds of thousands of people were doing so well on this product line, but I wasn't. What's in it? And I started going to all these different doctors and naturopaths, and they're doing all kinds of funky stuff. But I was so desperate that I didn't care. I'm like, something has got to work. Someone has got to figure this out or help me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really listening to the clues my body was giving me. I was overriding them, putting my faith in other people. And our bodies are we're so in tune, and all it wants to do is heal.
Yeah.
And when we don't allow it to do that is when we go awry, is what I found out.
So when did you come to that realization about what you had to change? How did you figure out what you needed to do then?
So thankfully, I found functional medicine, and I was at the point where I said, I need to really take control of what I'm doing. So I decided to enroll in school and figure it out myself, because not one person could help me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was then that I realized, and I never had gut issues or any kind of digestive issues, never. So I never looked at my gut as being an issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Until I started following the clues, because, for any other person, you don't really know that you're having a gut issue until you're understanding how powerful the gut is. And the symptoms I was having was directly related. I remember I did the GAP diet.
All right. Yes, a lot of
And
people do.
I was making loads of bone broth and lamb stew and all this stuff, and I would eat it, and I was hives from head to toe. So knowing now histamine was a major issue for me, and glutamine and glutamate, I wasn't breaking it down. It was just setting off a reaction. And that was my turntable, because I realized that, I needed something a little more gentle, and to not be so harsh with my body. I needed to really love myself and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and respect what was going on.
Yeah. So what did you do once you'd found functional medicine? What was this when you started the GAPS diet? So you thought, okay, GAPS
Yes.
diet is going to heal my gut.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay. And that makes sense. I mean, it totally L-glutamine to heal the gut lining, right? But
Yeah.
it was hurting your body. Okay. So,
Oh yeah.
and that's just the point that I'd like to make as well through these interviews is everybody is different.
Yeah.
And it depends on your individual situation. So how did it progress, and what changed? What did you do?
So from the GAPS diet, I went to keto.
Okay.
And yep. And again, please, everyone out there, know that this is my story, and it doesn't, everyone is so different. So and anything I would do to the T. I'm very, very rigid, and I can follow any diet. It does not matter. Whatever you put in front of me, I will do to a T. So I was doing keto, but I'm a chef. So I'm making, everything with almond flour, coconut flour, and adding this and that, and making sure my macros are on point and doing all that. And I was gaining and gaining and gaining, and the swelling was unbelievable. So I wasn't putting it together that I also had, the histamine and oxalates were huge, and I didn't realize, again, all related to gut. Everything that was happening was related to gut, but I wasn't putting the pieces together until finally I started the carnivore diet, and I eliminated everything.
Tell
And then,
people what that is, please, because
so the carnivore diet literally is nose to tail, meat, chicken, fish, liver, all kinds of
organ meats.
sweetbreads, organ meats, 0 vegetables, only meat, butter, and salt.
Wow.
Salt saved my life. Redmond salt saved my life because I was also very dehydrated, and I didn't realize I was so out of balance.
Okay.
I've done that for a year.
A whole year on just meat.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Feel amazing.
It sounds totally extreme, but that's what your body needed. Did you at any point in time think after, say, 3 months or 6 months that you could stop? Were you feeling, at what point did you start feeling better?
So I would dabble back and try some cauliflower or whatever, and I would react. So as soon as I would have a reaction, I would go back. And, fat is great. You need fat. I get my fat source from butter. I'm not a big dairy person. But too much fat was putting me over the edge. So I think working with a seasoned practitioner that can help guide you, because people stop their detox diets too quickly and that they're not healed. It's taken me a year to heal. So now I can have a piece of bread if I want it, or a bowl of vegetables, and I don't react. I can't push it. I can't do that every day, but I mainly stick with just a very simplistic diet, salmon or steak or chicken. I might throw a salad in there if I feel like it. I don't react to salad anymore. I watch my fat. I mainly use just Kerrygold butter, and I feel amazing.
So this is fairly recent. How long ago did you stop the carnivore diet then?
I don't really stop it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's probably 80% of how I eat.
Oh, right. Okay. So
Yeah,
that
I
is
can't really, I can't overload on things because I will start feeling a little crummy. But I wasn't sleeping. I mean, I was not sleeping. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Now I sleep well. I mean, I feel amazing. I'm going to be 56 in a couple of weeks. So
you look amazing for 56.
thank you. Yeah, not too bad.
An anti-aging episode for sure.
Oh, I have to tell you. So anyone out there that's trying to get rid of the wrinkles under here, it's all inflammation. If you could just calm your body down, up your protein, you will see great, great changes in your skin.
That's so interesting that you say that, because I think I asked you this question because everybody's saying meat causes inflammation in the body or acidity in the body, and vegetables is what calms the inflammation. What are you telling your clients about this?
There are so many studies out there that can contradict that. So where I would listen to people that, the naysayers, now I'm like, prove it to me, because I have a ton of proof.
Yeah.
And again, everyone is different. I'm not saying go out there and eat red meat. If you don't feel well eating red meat, there's an issue. But that's where the cellular component comes in.
Right.
Our cells need a certain amino acid profile, and you can only get that from red meat or protein, chicken. Vegetables do not have the same amino acid profile. So if you're not well, you have to go down to the cellular level, because those cells are creating our tissues, our organs, everything. So if you're not getting what you need to have healthy cells, that's where you begin. And that's why most of my clients, I educate them and tell them, look, you have a choice. I'm not going to ever tell you what to do, but I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you the evidence that this is what's going on. So you choose.
Absolutely. And that's an important point to make, because it might sound very extreme for some people, but it
It
might
is.
be what some people actually need. And the only way they'll know if it works for them is if they try it, right?
Yeah, and we're so brainwashed to
Yeah.
think vegetables are the key. And I'm not bashing vegetables, but some people can't handle it. You know, vegetables have a natural barrier to protect themselves. They have, you know, like a natural poison on them because they don't want to get eaten. So some people who aren't in a healthy state can't break that down or can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they need to just give it a little break. It's not, I'm not saying ever to abolish them and never have them again. But when you're healing, there's a certain healing protocol that I've been using with my clients, and they've been 100% successful. You can't hurt someone by suggesting food. It's only food,
Right.
not going to hurt you.
Yeah. And I think it's important that you point out that, because I'm supporting a couple of people as well that have tried so many different things, right? In the chronic urticaria group, in the Facebook group that I belong to, they've gone all on AIP diets and they've eliminated all of these things, and they're still not getting well. So perhaps this is worth a try. And when you talk about something like you experience, which is seemingly responding to everything out there,
Everything.
right? Everything except meat in your case, then
Right.
maybe you just do have to go to this mono diet and stick to one thing that you can tolerate and slowly build up from there.
Exactly. I mean, how else are you going to heal if you keep putting something in that's hurting you, you know,
That's
that
hurting your
your
body.
body's recognizing as, you know, a predator.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's not for everyone,
Yeah.
but if
Did
you
you
can
have,
just,
was that the simple solution for you? I mean, it doesn't sound simple at all to be doing you know, a 1-year carnivore diet. Were there any other extenuating factors to your condition? And looking back at your timeline, which we talk about often in functional medicine, what would you say were all the triggers that led to where you landed up?
I think a lot of antibiotics. I think it just completely decimated my gut, and you don't realize that. I had I had gone to Aruba and I fell on coral and ripped up my whole arm and everything. And I was on vacation. I didn't get any antibiotic. You know, I tried to clean it out as best I could, but it got infected with a fungus that they didn't recognize. So I had to go to, you know, a special doctor, and they put me on 3 different antibiotics or 2 different antibiotic strains to combat this. I had to get an operation and everything. It was all inside my finger. It was crazy. I was on that for 3 months.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, knowing what I know now, and I got really ill. Like, I took myself off because I could feel my body just dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I ever truly recovered from that, because after that I was just a mess. I couldn't eat everything. I was reacting to everything, everything.
And
Crazy.
now have you done any kind of gut rebuild apart from just eating much more protein?
Nope.
Okay, simple. Because a lot of people are looking for, what probiotics should I take? Should I be doing anything else to heal the gut?
Right. Well, remember, I was reacting to everything. So I was even reacting to supplements. I
Yeah,
couldn't take
anything.
even GI Revive. I couldn't take quercetin. I couldn't take curcumin. I could not take anything. I was reacting to everything. So I decided, no, I run my practice in such a simplistic way. Food, a couple of targeted supplementation recommendations, but nothing big, because when you're trying to heal and you're loading people up with supplements, you're not helping them, because you don't know
What's working?
what's happening, right? So you have to pull it back so simplistically
Yeah,
to heal. Your body will heal if we allow it, but if you keep loading it up with things, it doesn't know which way to go,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Brilliant.
But
So
that's how I work, you know. And
no, absolutely. And I think that's what we're learning as well in the mentorship that we both belong to. It's
mm,
really starting with the basics. It's not it's not even only food, it's all the other things, hydration and sleep and movement.
Salt was key.
Yeah.
Salt was key.
Salt, so that hydration part was,
Hydration. Yeah.
yeah.
Key. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to say anything to anyone that is struggling as much as you were back then, and anything that they're eating is affecting them, do you have any words of wisdom for them? Where can they start?
I would say, look at what you're putting in your body. If you're trying to do too many things at once, like all these detox programs and this, and you're taking this and that, just remember everything's interacting and reacting to each other. If you just pull it back, picture a crowded room and you're stuffing more stuff in there and trying to figure out what the problem is, you're not going to find it. When you start pulling back and emptying the room, then your body can breathe a little bit and say, this is how I need to heal. I need a little time. It takes time. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a couple of months. It took me over a year to heal. And now I can eat anything I want. I don't react. I don't wake up swollen. It's amazing.
Patience. Yeah, patience is key, because
Find a good practitioner.
How long do I need to do this for? As long as
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. People don't really like to hear that answer. But it's up to them, and how diligent they are and how their body's healing. If you give it the right tools, like you just mentioned, if you start at the basics, that's it. Just start at the basics, let your body calm down, and you'll see great results, I think.
Perfect. So how can people get in touch with you, Karen?
I have a website. It's KarenEllisNutrition.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Karen Ellis Nutrition, and Instagram.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much for the chat, Karen. Good to chat.
Thank you so much. Take care.